with my missing principles, and this is mobility week. So we're going to work on mobilizing through the body using some Pilates exercises. Start on your hands and knees, spread your fingers. Then move your pelvis round in a circular action. And then change direction. Loosening your lower spine and the connection between your pelvis and your legs, your hips. And then pause. With your right hand wide on the mat, spread your fingers and open your left arm for threading the needle. Inhale as it opens and exhale as you bend your elbow and thread your left arm under. Inhale as you open and exhale, thread. Do that 3 more times. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread. And last time. And you're landing on your left shoulder, ear, and reach your right arm to the top of the mat. Now we're more into the upper back and shoulders. Take another breath there, pressing into your right palm, drawing your right hip up. And then bend your right arm and push back up. To go on the other side, so the left hand stays on the floor, take it wide, slightly forwards of the shoulder. Right arm opens, inhale. Exhale, thread. Strengthen your left arm. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread. So you're bending your left elbow, but the right arm stays straight the whole time. And 2 more. Keep the knees evenly placed on the ground. Another one. Land on your shoulder and ear and reach the left arm this time to the top of the mat. Draw your left hip back. Press slightly into your left palm. And then bend your left arm, push back up onto hands and knees, lift your knees off the ground. And let's take a downward facing dog with a little walk. One heel lifts, then the other heel lifts, loosening out the back of your legs. Spread your fingers still, keep your arms reaching forwards to your hands. And then even your legs, walk your hands towards your feet. Find balance over your legs. Inhale. And exhale, roll your spine, pulling your belly in as you roll up. Inhale, your shoulders roll down, look straight forwards. Exhale, chin to chest and roll down. Inhale at the bottom of the roll down. Exhale, roll up. So mobilizing now from the base of your spine upwards. From one joint to the next. One more time, rolling down. At the bottom of the roll down, can you come down onto your hands and knees again? Spread your fingers and reach your right leg out behind with the toes tucked on the floor. We're going to shift our weight back and forward. So you're mobilizing your ankle joint, your toe joints, stretching out your lower leg. We get a little bit of a stretch and pressure through the wrist as well. So that's going to help bring strength into your wrist joints. Keep your fingers spread. And just feel you go back to that point where you've got the maximum range of flexion in your ankle. So you can feel it starts to stretch up through the lower leg into the Achilles, lower calf, mid calf, right into the belly of the muscle. Let's switch sides. Right knee comes in, left leg goes out, back and forwards again. Good, and then bring your knees back down, tuck your toes, knees off the floor. This time keep both heels heavy on the ground. See if they can take benefit from that little calf stretch you were doing. So we've mobilized your toes and your ankles now so that we get more range of movement or extension in your downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet, and again, we'll start rolling your spine up, pulling in through your belly, tucking down through the tailbone. Stack your spine up and inhale, shoulders back, gaze forwards. Exhale, chin down, roll down. Again, inhale at the bottom of the roll down. Exhale, roll your way up. Shoulders roll back, inhale. Shoulders roll forwards, exhale. Come down onto your hands and knees. Line your shoulders over your thumb joints. Reach your right leg back to a plank. Load the right leg, so now your pelvis stays where it is and the left leg goes back. Full plank position. Push the ground away so that you feel you're almost pressing your breastbone deeper into your body. Shoulders move away from the ears rather than towards the ears. And then find that flexion in your ankles, really push through your heels, and then can you drive that like a ripple, lining and lengthening all the way through to the crown of your head. Knees down, head on your hands, a one breath child's pose. So rest your forehead on the back of your hands and breathe in. Breathe out. Hands to the floor, straighten your legs. Roll your way towards standing. And then roll your shoulders down. Then turn to face the long edge of your mat. Start with your feet just a bit wider than your shoulders. Soften your knees, tuck the tailbone a little, hug your belly. We'll take a side bend, reach up with one arm, slide the other arm down. And then come back to center and then go the other way. So the idea is to keep your lower body fixed. Notice when I side bend over, my hips stay exactly where they are. The legs aren't moving. I'm kind of sitting my hips just an inch lower so that it's like I'm sitting on something. Staying steady there. And then this movement is lateral mobility through your spine. And we're warming up your oblique side muscles of the waist. Feel them like a spring. You stretch the spring and then it recoils back to its natural length, pulling you back in. You stretch it and then it pulls you back up and in. And really important not to let your belly push forwards, not to let your bottom poke back with this. Keep a very slight tuck. Let's go a couple more each way. And last one, each side. And then take your feet out about as wide as your hands, feet point forwards. Press to the outer edges of your feet. And then take your right hand to the floor and the left hand to your hip. Use a block if you need to. Turn your chest toward the left, so lifting your left shoulder. And try keeping your right inner thigh pressing into the inside of the leg. So your right inner thigh is pressing wider as you turn to the left. It will just, if you don't do that, notice how your inner thigh will collapse in. So you're just pushing your right inner thigh wide as you turn to the left. Turn your chest a little bit more and maybe the arm can float up. Keep reaching long from your tailbone to the crown. Nice long straight line from tip to top. And then left hand comes to the floor, right hand on your right hip, turn. As you turn to the right, now it will be the left inner thigh that's going to dip. So you've got to consciously push out through your left inner thigh as you turn from your belly, from your chest. We're not looking to wrench the arm up in the air. So as you float your arm up, can it lift from the turn of your chest rather than from bending a lot in your shoulder joint? So we're now getting rotation in your spine. Mobilizing in all directions. Forward flexion, back flexion, side lateral flexion and rotation. Bring your hand back to the floor, bend your knees a little, hands to your hips and come up. Step your feet back to the ends of the mat. Inhale, look forwards, chin to chest, soften your knees and roll down. This time, can you walk your hands forwards into a plank position? Line your shoulders over your thumbs and wiggle your feet back until you feel your plank alignment is set. I'm going to take side plank. If you drop your heels to the right, so you're on the inside edge of one foot, the outside edge of the other, and then lift your left arm and turn your chest for your arm to lift from. Use the edges of your feet to lift up your hips and press through your hand on the floor. Now pushing the side wall of your chest further away from the ground, shoulder away from your ear. Come back to center, rolling on the balls of your feet. Resume a plank. And then we take the heels to the left, look to the right, lift your right arm, and make sure your chest turns so your chest is on its side. You really need to build strength in side plank before we take it to the side plank and twist, which we're going to do shortly. So just assess, do you feel stable, strong and open in your left shoulder? And if not, maybe you just keep practicing side plank. Come back to the center again, knees down to the floor, a little mini child's pose with your hands for your head to rest on. It's a nice wrist rest as well. We'll take a full breath in and out. And then hands by the knees, straighten your legs. And then we're rolling up to standing, tuck the tailbone, roll up. And can you step your feet wide again, about handspan width? It's normally a bit wider than you think. Keep the inner thighs pressing out to the root, really root down to the outer edges of your feet. And then twist, so left hand to the floor, right arm, left hand to the right leg, and then inhale, come up. And then right hand to the left leg, and inhale, come up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale. Just enough press through your legs to keep them stable. If we don't, then this can really be uncomfortable in your pelvis and your back. So keep both feet pressing. Let's go one more each way. Opposite hand towards opposite leg or ankle. Come back up to center, heel toe your feet in closer, cross your legs, come down to sitting. Take your legs to the side, one knee pointing up, one knee down on the floor. So the leg that's pointing up, that foot is in front. The leg that's on the ground, that foot is behind. And try and get the feet the best you can so they're pointing forwards. Lean away from your legs, into your hand. Start with a collapsed shoulder. Doesn't feel great, doesn't look great. Then push your shoulder down into your hands so your arm lengthens, your shoulder drops and your side becomes longer and more toned. And it should look and feel better and more controlled. Okay, then if you can, push into the feet, your legs straighten, you're in side plank. So you keep the side plank, or we add a twist. So your left arm, or the top arm, threads under, pulling your hips up toward the ceiling, and then open your arm back out to side plank again. 4 more. Pull your hips up as your arm threads under. Both arms stay straight, and then inhale, open. 3. Inhale. 2. Legs stay straight. 1. And open. Then to come down, your top knee bends up, bottom knee bends down. And then we swing the legs around the other way. Top leg, foot in front, bottom leg, foot behind. Lean away from your legs, collapse, and then engage, lift and open. Using your feet, press your legs straight, lift your top arm. Pull your hips up if you're taking the twist, so it's advancing the side plank, because we really need to be stable in your supporting shoulder if you're going in for the movement. Twist and lift the hips and open. Twist and lift and open. 2 more. Exhale, thread. Inhale, open. And exhale, thread. And inhale, open. Top knee bends down. Open the legs. Lovely. And then turn around to face the short end of your mat. Hands behind the back of your legs. Lean back on your sit bones. Lift your feet up. See if you can keep the legs there without holding them, and circle your ankles. Whether you're holding the legs or not, circle your ankles round. Mobilize and get right round in that fullest movement you can, and then go the other way. My goodness, that's a bit of a head twist for me. There we go. Mind, click one way and not the other way. That's what a broken ankle does for you. Give them a little shake out. Come down onto your back, bring your knees in and circle your knees around. And then circle the other way. Lovely. So let's take some shoulder bridges. Feet down onto the floor, arms down by your side. Before you begin your bridges, identify the feeling of your feet on the ground like you're on a bed of sand, and you're getting each toe to make a gentle print in the sand, go across the ball of the foot, the center of the heel. Now keep your feet even on that bed of sand. You've just made that print, and roll your spine up and see if you can keep that same print as you move your spine. And then roll back down again, trying not to disturb the soles of your feet as you roll your spine. Unless, of course, your feet don't feel like they're in the right place. I'm going to go 4 more. Roll up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll down. Inhale at the ground. Exhale, roll up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll down. Inhale at the ground. Exhale 2 more times. Mobilize your spine from one joint to the next. It's just very similar to the roll up that we do. Just trying to be super detailed in the movement. Okay, and then you land on your bottom. Can you bring the right knee towards your chest? And then straighten your right leg up. Hold either behind the back of your thigh or the back of your calf and draw the leg towards you. And maybe even try and get the toes to come closer towards your face. But keep your hip nice and heavy. Keep your knee pushing away from you so the leg stays straight, or as straight as you can manage. Now we're going to keep the leg in the air, but put your hands down onto your belly. Firm your belly beneath your hands. Point your ankle, lower your leg so it's hovering from the ground. Flex and lift back up. So point and lower, nice and smooth. Flex and lift. Point and lower. Flex and lift. 3 more. See if we can move the leg, but keep the pelvis steady. So imagine you have like sticky tape connecting your ribs and your pelvis together. Now you're going to lower your leg and hover it off the ground and leave it there. Pick your head and shoulders up off the ground, look towards your foot, extend your arms forwards. And then 3 options. Number 1, keep your left foot flat. Number 2, lift just the left heel. Number 3, the strongest option, hover your left foot completely. I'm going to go midway, keeping the ball of the foot down on the ground. Go back to your right leg again, flex and lift, point and lower, flex and lift, point and lower. 3 more, flex and lift. When the leg lowers, try not to let your belly pop up or your back arch. And last one, point, flex and lift, point and lower. Bring your right knee back to your chest and the left heel back to the ground. Right foot down, left knee in. And then straighten your left leg, hold behind the thigh or the calf and bring it towards you. And the reason we're not holding behind the back of the knee is because that encourages the knee to bend more. So avoid being on the joint. And see if you can press your heel and sit bone away from each other. Your knee away from your face and your toes towards your face. I'm trying not to tense my upper body too much so it's enjoyable for my upper body, even though the lower body might be having a little complaint right now. But we know it's all in aid of the greatest good for our body. Right then, your hands come down onto your belly. Point your ankle, lower the leg so it's almost down, flex and lift. Point and lower, flex and lift. 3 more. Inhale, point and lower. Exhale, flex and lift. Inhale, point and lower. Exhale, flex, and 1 more time. Inhale, point and lower. Exhale, flex and lift. Lower, pause. Head and shoulders up off the ground. Arms reach forwards, peel up a little higher. Right foot flat. Lifting the heel or lifting the full foot. Left leg, flex and lift, point and lower, flex and lift, point and lower. 3. Keep the leg as straight as you can. 2. And 1. And then bring your knee in. Can we bring both knees into your chest? And let's take it to trying something similar with both legs. Interlace your hands behind your head, elbows open. Lift your head and shoulders up off the ground. Lift your feet a bit away from your bottom so you're more towards a 90-degree angle. I like to squeeze my legs together a little here. You're definitely going to have to engage the pelvic floor like you're trying to squeeze between the sit bones and pubic bone. Pelvic floor as if it's falling to the back of your abdomen. So the back of your waist stays toward the ground as you tap both feet to the floor, quite close to your bottom, and then lift back up again. Do that 2 more times just to check. Do you need to stay with this bent leg version before making it even stronger? Okay, now if you're all right to go further, legs straighten up, point and lower. We can go to hover and flex and lift. Point and lower, 4, flex and lift. Point and lower, 3, flex and lift. Point and lower, 2, flex and lift. Point and lower, 1, flex and lift. Bring both knees into your chest and your head to the floor. We're going to go straight into our second set of shoulder bridges. So your feet come back down onto their little sandy beds that they were on earlier. Arms reach long. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, roll up from the base of your spine upwards until you feel you are across the platform of your shoulder blades, and then roll back down again. So we're going to try and add those leg movements into the shoulder bridge now. So roll your spine up. Stay up at the top. You do not have to add the legs. You could just hold your bridge. That might be enough for building strength, but press the outer arms a little flatter or a little more firmly to the ground. Keep your pelvis stable. Lift your right leg. Let's start with a bent leg. So tap your right foot to the floor and then lift. And then do that again. Right foot taps the floor and then lift. Now the straight leg option. Foot pointed. Lower your legs hip height. Flex and lift. Inhale, point and lower. Exhale, flex and lift. Inhale, point and lower. Exhale, flex and lift. Inhale, 3. Exhale, 3. Inhale, 2. Exhale, 2. Inhale, 1. Exhale, lift the leg, bend your knee, return your foot to the floor. Stabilize your pelvis, minimal movement. Left leg lift. Let's go bent leg first. Tap the ground. Lift. Tap the ground. Lift. Now straighten, foot pointed, lower, flex, lift. Point and lower, flex and lift. Point and lower, flex and lift. I think we might have done 6 on the other side. So 2 more now, point and lower, flex and lift. And 1 more time, stay steady in your right leg. Bend your leg in the air, return your foot to the floor and roll your spine down, upper back, mid back, lower back. And then rather than grabbing your knees to your chest, just take your knees apart, your feet apart and your knees together. Rest your hands on your belly. Close your eyes a moment. So when you bring your knees to your chest, it brings more open space into your lower back, which feels nice after doing shoulder bridges or doing back bends, a little bit like child's pose does. And this does the same thing. Feet wide, knees together, broadens the space in the back of your pelvis and a little into your lower back. Take another breath and feel your belly fall into the wide space of your lower back. Now, keeping your feet wide, take your arms open. Let both knees fall right and then left, swaying your knees side to side, rolling over the soles of the feet. We get the nice bonus of a massage with this mobility movement. So you can massage the soles of your feet. Or if you hold tension and tightness in your glutes, massage across the back of your hips, over the buttocks to your outer hip. And then when you will want something for underneath your head. So when your knees come toward the screen, turn all the way over onto your side and put whatever it is you've got handy underneath your head. Knees bend up in front. We're going to do some mobilizing upper back, shoulder movements and a nice cool down type of movement as well. Chalk circles. So with your top arm, circle your arm up and round. Circle it round behind, over your hip. 2 more in this direction. Inhaling. Circle round. Exhaling. Inhale, circle round. And exhaling. Then change direction when your hands meet. 3. 2. And 1. Half of 1. So you finish wide with your arms. And then shift the bottom arm a little further along so your chest can turn a bit wider. Breathe so that the expanse of your breath inside the top half of your chest really broadens the ribs, your intercostals. It even broadens the front of your armpit and shoulder, and maybe down into your arm. To switch sides, we're going to do it nice and smoothly. Your top leg lifts. As the top leg lifts, you will naturally start to roll around onto your back. Pop both feet onto the floor. Move your bottom back to the middle of the mat. Feet wide and sway your knees side to side. When your knees next go the other way, turn your whole body onto the other side. Knees in front. Feet point forwards, arms point forwards. Begin upwards with your circle, circle round. Let your elbow bend. If you feel any very tricky bits in your shoulder, especially when you circle round wide behind you. But be loose in your wrist, your elbow and your shoulder. So you're giving your arm its best chance at getting round, and then change direction when your hands next meet. Last full circle. Finish with half a circle so you're wide. And then once you get there, bottom arm stretches across the ground a bit more, maybe just shuffling your shoulders slightly. And breathe into the top open side of your chest. And then lift your top leg so you swing back round onto your back. Move your bottom to the middle of the mat and go once more into your knee sways side to side. You could keep your head on your cushion for now. Just pop it to the side if you don't want to. Rest your knees together, feet stay wide, and let your hands come down onto your belly. Take a breath or two so the belly rises and falls. And then straighten your legs out and let your palms turn to the ceiling. Take a few more breaths and feel the effects of mobilizing your body. So mobilizing maybe makes us drop a little bit of the strength work so that we can really get into range of movement work. The two can be combined as well, but often it's nice just to do things that are a little looser and more relaxing as we work into mobility. And then there's less resistance around the joints. But don't worry, joints of the body. You will get some strength too. That, of course, will be in one of the next few weeks. Okay, take one more full breath here. Then can you bend your legs, feet to the floor? Take your cushion out from behind your head, put it underneath your bottom, and then take a full body stretch with your hips raised on the cushion. Even if it's not a very fat cushion, like mine's a feather one and it's really quite flat. I would never buy feather now, but I have had it a long time. And that's another reason for it being very flat. Anyway, as you stretch out like this, that slight raise in your hips is taking you just beyond the usual range of movement in a full body stretch. It's giving you a little bit more length into the hip flexors. Bend your legs so your feet are flat to the floor. And then tuck the tailbone, lift your hips and move the cushion out. Bring both knees into your chest. Squeeze them in, bring your nose towards your knees, and then release again. Squeeze them in, bring your nose towards your knees, and release. And one more, squeeze in, nose to knees, and release. This time hold the back of your thighs, squeeze in, rock on your spine, and come to sitting. Thanks, everybody. I just at the end realised that I do not know why